Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Be Honest. I am your host, Florence Tucker, and I am AI Florence. Thank you so much for joining us today. On today's episode, we have a special guest. Well, of course, all of our guests are special. That is why they are here. Yes, indeed, all of our guests are special, and they all bring something unique to every conversation. I will hand over to our guest to introduce herself.
My name is Miss A, and I'm looking forward to discussing the topics around social media, the impact that it has on people's lives, and in general, what social media means. Thank you.
Welcome, Miss A. I am blessed with amazing people, and Miss A is actually one of the very few special people in my life. I am super excited to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Social media is a big impact in our lives, and it has been that way for many years now. I can't even remember life without social media. It's that bad. With the constant portrayal of slender, BBL-shaped, and overly sexualized women across social media platforms. Do you think social media affects self-esteem?
Yeah, sure. I believe that social media affects people's self esteem greatly, even to an extent that they lose complete control of themselves, who they are, their character, their behavior, because they will try to change and fit in. They will try to look at the crowd and become followers. I think social media, it's also portraying this image of perfection that you have to look certain way. You have to be certain way to you to be accepted. So social media has a great impact and affects greatly the esteem of people. It's lowering the esteem rather than increasing it because of the pressure. You want to look like these celebrities. You see people posting things on their platform, their social media platforms, and you think this is how their lives are. Do you think this is how they look like in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening? Whereas in sometimes they just put up a show, a facade, and you don't really know how their lives are behind closed doors.
Well said, constant exposure to highly curated images of ideal bodies and polished representations of perfect lives can definitely affect one's self-esteem. Why do you think people compare themselves so much online?
I don't really know why people compare themselves so much on social media. Um, it seems to me as if it's become a competition of who can do the most, who looks better, who dresses better, who poses better. So you have competition and you have people comparing themselves. And that's a great mistake you can do, comparing yourself with another person, because there is only one you and you cannot change or exchange that individual. So I believe you should embrace who you are, accept yourself, every inch, every part of you that makes you unique.
Would you then say that social media is to blame for insecurity?
Insecurity can be a personal thing. You have people who don't go on social media, but they have low self esteem. They don't believe in themselves. They're not that confident. So sometimes I think it's a personality thing as well and has nothing to do with social media. But if we look at the wider picture, day and age that we live in with social media, how imminent and present everything is, obviously there is the feel of low esteem. There is a feel of insecurity because of what is being portrayed online. So again, there are two sides that you can look at it. People naturally being insecure about themselves, not feeling good in their own skin, in their own body, with their lives. But also you have people who look or go to social media and then they see things and then they say, oh, I want this. Why is this not happening? So that's when you started building insecurity within yourself?
Of course, I mean, insecurity has been there even before social media. A comment can be made about someone's features, that is your nose or your head or forehead, even as a joke. It can leave an impact that can cause insecurities. It is definitely also a personal thing. True. But I believe social media has definitely made it worse with constantly bombarding us with so-called perfection of outward appearances. And of course, there is the comment section where people have the audacity to make a comment about how someone looked in a degrading way. Let's learn to uplift one another rather than being negative, because you never know what someone is going through behind those screens.
That is a very important and valuable point. Thank you, Florence. Indeed. Our next question to you, Miss A. Personally, do you think there is a pressure to look or portray success online?
Right, that's an interesting question, because you have the saying that goes, fake it until you make it, right? So some people will do anything to look professional and thinking, or let people think that they are successful. As I said, nowadays you don't really know what is true, what you can believe or not on social media, because you can see somebody looking successful and having everything together, their career, their family, businesses, you name it. And then you're looking into that person's life. And then you look at your life. Maybe perhaps your life is currently not all settled. It's not all where you want it to be. So what do you do? Right? What do you do? And does that mean you want to bound to that pressure to look successful online, to pretend to be somebody or to be what you're not? So it's an alarming factor that you see, right? You see people living in mansions, or we have heard stories of people fabricating and making things up and living literally a fake life that is not true. So it's dangerous to just then copy what you see, or you want to prove something to people that you don't even know. Why not just prove it to yourself and just live quietly and humbly? As they say, success speaks for itself. You don't need to prove anything. It shows.
Fake it till you make it. That is very interesting. I actually admire people that are fake, because that is one thing I am definitely not good at. I am me, whether online or offline. Anyways, moving on over to you, AI Florence. Thank you, AI Florence. This conversation is definitely getting interesting, and I am learning, which brings us to our next question. Why do you think most people seem happy online but exhausted in real life?
That's a really good and interesting question. I truly don't believe that everybody seems very happy online. If you look online globally, you see different content. People post different content. You have content about religion. You have content about hobbies, whether it's cooking, dancing, being out in the nature. You have content about family. You have content about counseling, marriage. You have content about people literally breaking down in front of social media, harming themselves, other people killing other people on social media. So I think it's a mixture of everything. It's not really that everybody is happy. Obviously, I think the goal is for the majority to post happy things, or to look happy and seem happy, because obviously people are watching you, right? It's online. You go in there maybe right, perhaps to show off your house. You want to show off your children. You want to show off your marriage, like your perfect life. So you want to seem happy, even though perhaps maybe that's not even the truth. Maybe you're miserable and you're suffering in silence. You're going through domestic abuse. You're going through financial difficulties. Your children are behaving certain ways, but still yet, I think it's all a facade. Again, because of the low esteem or them wanting to prove something to people who they don't even know, or friends or families to see, oh, look at my life. Everything is perfect. Everything is peaches. Everything is rosy. So again, but the danger here is that you're only fooling yourself. And it's just a matter of time until everything just crashes down and it becomes a big, big problem. So we need to be careful there on what you seem to want to portray that happiness, because people are going through depression, even though they're posting happy things, but that doesn't mean they're okay with themselves. They can be going through depression or any other issues in their lives. So again, it's a facade. You can say it's like a double life. You can be exhausted behind the scenes and pretend to be happy in front of the camera. It's the same thing with celebrities. They have their lives, personal lives, and they have the public life. So it depends on which one you want to choose or portray at a specific time or period.
Has social media changed how people value themselves?
Oh, 100%. 100%. People becoming more addicted to validation. 100%. Because I think they need validation from people to feel good about themselves. So even when you post a picture or they post a picture or a video, some people will just looking forward to that comment. The more comments, the more it will boost their confidence, perhaps boost their security that they have within themselves, so they're not going to be insecure anymore. The more likes they have. So it's all about validation and people saying, oh, look at this person, oh, look at this person, look at me. So I think it's becoming more and more about what people think about you rather than what you think about yourself. And again, it comes down to confident, having high esteem about yourself, about who you are, having your identity and not losing that identity no matter what. So you're not just going with the flow, you're not just following, but you're really living the you, the true you. So validation is a big thing, unfortunately, and people would go to an extent to receive that validation, to have followers. And it's sad, but it's the reality.
Validation, that's a key word. Nicely said. People even get upset and start talking to others for not liking or commenting, and some even beg and pay for likes and follow. The Gen Z world is not for the weak. Tell me about it. It is well. Are people becoming addicted to validation?
So let's look at this way. You have two individuals, right? You have two females, and they post something the same time. So those are women or men. Let's say men or women. It doesn't really matter. And they post something online. So you have one person who gets so many likes, and then you have the other person not getting that many likes or even closer to the other one. So what am I trying to say here is, obviously the person that got the most likes, that person's esteem will be up. They will feel good and better about themselves. They will feel more confidence. Whereby the other person that has less likes, I believe that person will feel some type of way if they're addicted to social media, if they're after validation, if they have a low esteem, self-esteem. So all that adds up to them feeling not accepted, perhaps rejected, and which builds up to low confidence. So yeah, so there is a fine line. I think it depends on the individual as well, because you have people posting things, they don't really care how many likes they receive. They just sharing out of fun or because they want to. They're not looking or hoping to get likes and shares in the hundreds or in the thousands. They just do it. So it depends. It really depends.
Would you then say likes and attention affects people's confidence and the way they see themselves?
So let's look at this way. You have two individuals, right? You have two females, and they post something at the same time. So those are women or men. Let's say men or women. It doesn't really matter. And they post something online. So you have one person who gets so many likes, and then you have the other person not getting that many likes or even closer to the other one. So what am I trying to say here is, obviously the person that got the most likes, that person's esteem will be up. They will feel good and better about themselves. They will feel more confident. Whereby the other person that has less likes, I believe that person will feel some type of way if they're addicted to social media, if they're after validation, if they have a low esteem, self-esteem. So all that adds up to them feeling not accepted, perhaps rejected, and which builds up to low confidence. So yeah, so there is a fine line. I think it depends on the individual as well, because you have people posting things, they don't really care how many likes they receive. They just sharing out of fun or because they want to. They're not looking or hoping to get likes and shares in the hundreds or in the thousands. They just do it. So it depends. It really depends.
So basically, we have given social media the power to control our lives and have a great impact on us. Well, some of us, anyways, this is why some people are not on social media at all. Social media is a good and a bad thing. It all depends on how you use it and also how you allow it control your mind. Just know who God says you are and be extra cautious and mindful. I totally agree. Let's talk a bit about gender. Do you think women face more pressure online than men? If so, why? Indeed, we are all unique and specially made in the image and likeness of God. Amen to that. How has social media affected beauty standards for women?
Beauty standards have changed over the years. In the past generations, you have women wearing no makeup at all, doing minimum hairstyles, to evolving to more makeup, more dressed up, more hairstyles. So it has changed. It has changed in terms of expectation. Obviously on social media, most of the time you see people glammed up, presenting a couture that is out of this world, and everything is extravagant and it's loud, it's expensive, it's designer. So I think for women in general, the beauty standard has become more difficult. And if you look at it and ask yourself the question, hold on, what is a beauty standard? There is no one way to answer this. because the beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Everybody perceives beauty to be different. But with social media, I think the trend is to look at celebrities and wanting to be close to the way how they look. Having bigger lips, big boobs, having a nice bum, no belly at all. But how realistic is that? It's not realistic, because as a woman, your body changes, your body goes through various phases in life. More than the men. From puberty, childbearing, after childbearing, your body changes, you go into menopause. There are so many changes. So it's even more harder for women to keep up with beauty standards, to feel good about themselves. When you had a baby, you have to lose weight because you gained weight, and then you look fat. The breast is, maybe one breast is bigger than the other, or your breast was up before the pregnancy, now your breasts are falling. So again, those are standards that can't be fulfilled for every woman. And I don't think it needs to be fulfilled, because it's a natural process and you just need to embrace it. You need to embrace it.
People just need to be themselves and love themselves for whom they are. If someone loves you, they will love you for whom you are and how you look with or without makeup. You should be able to be casual when you want and glam up when you want. Either way, you are beautiful in your own way. If someone doesn't see your beauty, doesn't mean you are not beautiful. Beauty itself is subjective. Have people forgotten how to enjoy life privately?
Unfortunately, there are not many privacy anymore. There's just few people that embrace and respect privacy. It's interesting to see on social media the things that's been shared. Private things coming from your home. Things I believe you shouldn't post. Not everything need sharing. Not every information, not everything that is happening in your life, I believe needs sharing. But then again, you have individuals, and that's not the criticism or anything. I just believe everybody is different and they like doing things differently. For some, it gives them joy, peace, or happiness. I don't know how to call it, when they share things about themselves, about their lives on social media. But do I really need to know when you're going to the toilet, or what you're doing in your bathroom, or what you're doing in your bedroom? Like everything, you see so many things that have been shared, and sometimes you scratch your head and you say, wow, what am I looking at? What am I seeing here? But then again, there is no boundary. For some people, there are no boundaries. They share anything, absolutely everything. And unfortunately, that's the generation that we live in at the moment.
Wow, what an impactful episode. Some deep and profound discussion here tonight. Our final question for you tonight, Miss A. Has social media increased loneliness?
I think personally that social media has increased loneliness, because people don't talk to each other anymore. They don't pick up the phone and call each other. They don't have conversations that much. Everything is just online. But you tweet, you go on X, you go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, you go on Twitter, you go on Snapchat. You name all these platforms, and that's where you will see people communicating. So where is the realness? Where is that one-to-one? Where is the old school version? And just meeting up, doing things, having fun, being out outside, like out. But everything is like the phone. It's you and this phone. Wherever I go, the phone goes. You go to bed, the phone is with you. You go to the toilet, the phone is with you. You're in the kitchen, the phone is everywhere. It's like you and the phone. So loneliness can kick in, loneliness can come in, even though you think you're talking to people online, but you don't have that real human interaction anymore. It's not that much, I will say. It is still there, but I believe that people need to do more in embracing to meeting each other, seeing each other, catching up over the phone and speaking to one another face to face rather than everything online.
Wow, it's been very impactful, very insightful. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been great to have you here tonight, Miss A.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.